Hello and welcome to Yoga with Leyla at the Healthy You Festival. Today's session is going to be an all-over body workout with a special focus on the pelvic floor. So you will need a chair, a sturdy chair with a sort of not too soft a base, a hand towel and a yoga mat, or at least a bit of floor space if possible. So we're going to put the towel to one side, and we're going to begin with some nice stretches, warming up the back and the front body and all the joints. So let's begin by coming a little bit forward in your chair. You could be doing this on a stool as well, that's absolutely fine. And resting your hands on your thighs. We're going to round the back. So use your abdominals, just contracting the abdominals a little bit, tip your head forward, come into a curved back. And then we're going to bring the head down towards the knees and then tilt your pelvis forward, lengthen through your spine, reaching the crown of the head away from the tailbone, and then come up to the upright. Let's do that again. So contract the abdominals, round the back. Bring the crown of the head towards the knees. Lengthen through the spine, getting like a straight back, and then upright again. One more time. So we want a nice even curve through the spine. Coming down to, this is like a forward fold but in seated. Tilt the pelvis, lengthen through the crown of the head and come up, be upright. This is a nice little sequence that you could do if you're spending a lot of time seated, perhaps in front of a computer, just to balance the front and back body, get a bit of gentle strengthening going on. Okay, so now let's take the right leg out to the side. So we've got about a 90-degree angle or so. And the ankles are under the knees. We're turning the chest to face forward slightly. And then we're going to bring the right elbow towards or down onto the right thigh and take the left arm up. Plenty of space around the neck, the shoulders, and then take a nice side bend. Feel this nice opening, the ribs flaring. Make sure you're breathing the whole time, and let's go to the other side. Nice side stretch, and then bring the elbow down. Take your arm up and over, and again. Now, if at any point in this session, anything doesn't feel right for you, remember you can take a break. You don't have to do that particular move, or you can do it for less time or less intensity. And then we're going to come down with the elbow and finish off with a little side bend. And then come back. And then let's come back to the first movement. I'm going to do it from the side so you can get a different view. You don't have to turn, you can carry on facing the screen if that works for you. Okay, so once again, we're curving the back, using the abdominals, nice even curve through the spine. Bring the head towards your knees, tilt the pelvis, lengthen the head away from the tailbone, and then lift up to the upright. And let's do two more. So nice rounding the back, head towards the knees, lengthen through the spine, and come up. Now, did I say one more or two more? Let's do one more to be on the safe side. So, still breathing. Head comes down towards the knees. Lengthening, keeping the chest wide, collarbones wide, and then lift up to the upright. And then we're going to go to the other side. So left foot comes out to the side, and then we turn the chest a little bit towards the right knee. Let's take the right arm. Make sure this movement is possible for your neck, your shoulders, and there's space around your ear. Take a nice side bend. Bring the arm up and over, and then let's go over to the other side. So really notice your ribs flaring as you come into this side bend. Make sure you're breathing. Enjoy those sensations in your back. And one more to each side. And then let's come back to the original position with the knees a little bit apart. Heels are under the knees, shoulders wide, and then we're going to lift the sternum. Lift your chin, look up towards the ceiling, and come back. Let's take the arms up as well. Lift the sternum, release the weight of the arms down into your shoulders, and then bring the arms down. Rotate your shoulders up, back, round, up, back, round. Still breathing. Okay, so let's get onto the pelvic floor part of this this sequence today. So we've got a hand towel that's been folded into 4, and then I'm going to roll it. So you can decide how much you want to roll it, how thick you want it to be. You can have it much lower if you want. I'm going to have it at about this thickness. And I'm bringing it under the right sit bone. So the sit bones are those bony bits that you can feel with your hands in your buttocks. And so with the towel under my right sit bone, I'm in this very lopsided position. So my right side is shortening, my left side is lengthening, and I'm going to lift the left hip and torso up and drop it down. Lift and release, lift and release. Keep going, still breathing. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Let's also relax the face, letting go of any unnecessary tension from anywhere in the body, but particularly sometimes in the face, around the jaw, for example, you can get unnecessary tension. Okay, now next time you lift your hip, bring it forward and down. Lift, up, back, and down. Lift and forward, lift and back, lift and forward, lift and back. Still breathing. So as I said, if these repetitions are too much for you, you can just take a break whenever you want. Do fewer if you feel like this is aggravating your lower back. Still breathing. And even staying in this lopsided position for a short while can also help. Okay, so I think that's probably enough. Let's take the towel away. Take a moment to notice the two sides of your body. So we're going to go back to the first sequence And this time really concentrate on the pelvic floor and notice any differences in the two sides. So drawing the pubic bone and the sternum towards each other, nice even contraction through the front body. Bring the head towards your knees. Stretch your spine in both directions and then lift up. And again, contract the abdominals, lengthen the back body. Bring the head forwards, keep that length through the front body. Now really open up the front body and lift. One more time. Okay, now let's go to the second side. So we've got the towel, and this time we are going to place it under the left sit bone and take a moment to notice if this feels different. So this feels a lot less familiar for me. So I normally contract this side more. I tend to put my weight on this leg and stand with this side sort of. So this is quite unfamiliar. And let's lift the right sit bone and lower. Lift and lower, lift and lower. Still breathing. So my chair is getting a bit noisy. So our pelvic floor is working in an asymmetric way because we've got this difference in level from one side to the other. Now let's add the forward and back arc. So bring the sit bone forward and then take an arc to bring it back. So forward and back, lift and come forward, lift and go back. Still breathing. So this is a nice gentle way of bringing awareness to the pelvic floor, as well as working it, so strengthening. We want the pelvic floor that's strong and adaptable, so it can adapt and be flexible. Still breathing. Okay, so when you feel like you've equalized from one side to the other, so I think maybe just one more to each side, and then we can get rid of the towel. Let's pop it down onto the floor, and then take a moment to notice how you feel. Can you feel your pelvic floor? Does it feel different? How about the way that you're sitting? Has anything changed in your sitting posture? Okay, let's go back to the original sequence. So we're going to contract the front body, around the back, nice, even curve through the spine. Bring your head forwards towards your knees. Lengthen through the spine, and then lift up. And let's do that 2 more times. So nice, even curve. Bring your head forwards, lengthen up through the spine, and then lift up to be upright. And okay, let's also stand up. So standing up, how does your posture feel in standing? So I feel like my hips and my shoulders are in a really good position, and my chest is open and my breathing feels very easy and right. My knees are not locked out, so always make sure that you don't lock your knees out. Keep a little softness in the knees. Collarbones wide. Let's take a few steps. So walk around Okay, so we're going to continue on the mat, so or just in a bit of floor space. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Get my mat. And I shall just change the position of this quickly. There. Okay, so squats are also a great way of exercising the pelvic floor. Let's start with squats with parallel knees, and we shall come into first a chair pose. So reaching the tailbone back and the crown of the head forwards, bring your arms out in front. We're going to circle the arms over to the hips, lengthening through the crown, and then come into chair, and back to halfway lift, and come into chair, and halfway lift. Let's do 3 more of these. Chair, and halfway lift. So in chair, you could be much higher. It depends on how hard you want to work. So the lower you come, the harder you'll be working. Let's now bring the elbows to the knees, come down to a squat, resting your forehead on your thumbs. You can put one hand on the floor or maybe just a finger to help you balance if you want. One more breath here. And then let's bring the palms to the floor. Straighten the legs as much as you like. Let the palms come off the floor. Hands onto shins or thighs. Lengthen your head forwards. Bend the knees deeply, belly onto thighs. Palms onto the floor, head hanging. Press your feet into the floor, straightening the legs as much as you like. Start rolling up through the spine and come up all the way. Okay, so we're going to do that sequence again, but this time we're going to add a bit of rhythm so that we can also exercise the elasticity, the fascia of the body, particularly the pelvic floor. So coming into chair and halfway lift and chair and halfway lift. Now find your rhythm. Find the rhythm which makes you feel buoyant. So your rhythm may be a little bit faster or a bit slower than me. That's absolutely fine. You should feel good. Let's go for the good feelings, the good sensations. Let's do 2 more to each side. Finishing it in chair, bringing the elbows to the knees. You can let your heels come off the floor. Thumbs onto the forehead. Taking a little balance here. Still breathing. Remember, you can always have one hand on the floor or both if necessary. Now, everybody bring your hands to the floor. Straighten the legs as much as you like. Press the feet down, slowly rolling up through the spine, bringing one vertebrae on top of the other. Head comes up last. Great. Okay, so we're going to take a wide leg, and this is going to be a dynamic balancing sequence. So lots of movement here. Let's first of all get our position right. So bending the knees, make sure they're bending over the second toe. Take your arms out, draw the shoulders in, and then let's do this nice and slow. So when you do this movement at a slow pace, it is strengthening. And then in a moment, we're going to do this with a more with more of a rhythm, and that will be more of a elastic motion. So we'll be exercising the fascia more. A nice slow squats, 2 more. And now let's do a bit of bouncing. So can you feel that this is quite a different sort of way of exercising these muscles and tissues? So double bounce, step to the side, and find the floor. Double bounce, step to the side. Double bounce, step to the side. So we're going to add on, let's add on a leg lift. And let's change the leg lift to a bent knee leg lift. And the tree pose. 1 more to each side. And then this time, we're going to stay. Take a moment to find your balance, to catch your breath. And make sure that the gesture foot, or the gesture leg foot, isn't pressing the knee from the side. So we want the foot below the knee or above the knee, but not directly on the knee. Widening the chest and the shoulders. And you can also have one toe on the floor. You can also have the foot in the inner thigh. And then let's let go of the foot and then take the knee out to the side, back to center. Big circles with the knee. And round the other way. Let's straighten the leg and swing the leg side to side. So though this is very challenging, because we're not only balancing, we're also moving, but this is a much more true to life kind of balancing than just staying still. So now we're swinging the leg forward and back, using the opposite arm to counterbalance. So if you keep your eyes on the horizontal, on the sort of eye level, you'll find it a lot easier to balance. Still breathing. And then let's come back. Give your legs a little shake out, your arms. Take a few jumps. Let your hips go side to side. So we're going to go back and do the same on the other side. So we'll start with the stepping to the side. Well, first let's just check our position. Knees bending over the second toe, arms drawing in, so we're not carrying the arms with the neck, we're carrying the arms with the torso. And some slowish squats, making sure you're not tucking the tail under. So I'm showing you what not to do. Don't tuck the tail under. If anything, the tailbone can go back a little. And let's do a few bounces. Still breathing. So we're going to step to the side, to this side first of all. Double bounce, step to the side. Double bounce, step to the side. We'll do 2 rounds of each add-on. So start with the leg lift add-on. And the bent knee leg lift. And the tree pose. 1 more to each side. And then stay here. Take a moment to let your breathing settle. Find your balance, find your center, widen your collarbones, soften your face. When you're ready, bring the knee out in the front, to the side, the front, the side. Let's make big circles with the knee. Round the other way. Straighten the leg and swing the leg side to side. So you can see we're taking the hip joints through all the different motions that they're capable of. Now let's swing the leg forward and back. Remember, the opposite arm swings with the leg, and we do this contralateral swing when we're walking. And it helps with the efficiency of the movement, amongst other things. So after a few swings, you can make the swing a bit bigger. Again, as you can see, we're using the pelvic floor in an asymmetric way. When you're ready, come to stillness. Okay, so we're going to come to the floor to finish off. So when you're ready, come down into a deep squat. And then come down to sit. Let's bring the legs out in front. We'll do it at an angle. Inhale, take both arms up. Exhale, fold. And let's stay here. Turning the toes towards the face. And then point them away. And then bring them towards the face. Point them away. And then let's bring the feet onto the mat. We're going to roll down to the floor. So bring the pubic bone and sternum towards each other. Nice, slow release of the spine to the floor. Let your feet slide along the mat. And the head comes down last. We're going to take the feet out to the edges of the mat and arms out at shoulder level. Let's drop the knees side to side. Still breathing. And then next time the knees are on one side, stay there and look over the opposite shoulder. Relax your face, relax your belly, relax your chest. With the next inhale, take the knees up and over to the other side and look over the opposite shoulder. Soften your brow. Soften your jaw. And let's also soften the hands and the feet. With the next inhale, pick the knees up and drop them side to side. And then coming to stillness, stretch the legs away. Bring your arms down beside you. Bringing your attention to your body. Notice how you feel. And staying in this position for a few minutes. Enjoy your savasana.
I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope to see you again soon.